It is Thursday morning and it's turning into an extremely significant one at that in terms of transfer news involving big names. And in English football, there are a few bigger than Harry Kane. Alex Crook, my colleague here at talkSPORT, broke the news going into the bulletin at 10:30 that Bayern Munich have reached an agreement with Spurs to sign Harry Kane. And Alex, just to reiterate, the fee, €100 million.
Yeah, that translates to around about £94.5 million. We've been saying all summer that whoever buys Harry Kane is going to have to get nearer £100 million. I have to say, from a Tottenham perspective, I think this is a sensible business decision. If you get offered that kind of money, a club record for Bayern Munich, can you really afford to turn it down and run the risk of Kane either signing a pre-contract agreement with an overseas club in January or maybe joining a Premier League rival at the end of the season? What does Kane do now? Because, of course, if he joins Bayern Munich, yes, he'll probably win the Bundesliga. Yes, he'll go deep into the Champions League, but he won't get that Premier League goalscorer record. Right,
so the clubs have agreed the fee. Yep. And that's €100 million, but now the ball's in Harry's court.
Absolutely. And we said all along, haven't we, that it wouldn't get this far. It wouldn't get to the stage where Bayern make numerous bids, where they fly over two of their top board members to hold face-to-face talks with Daniel Levy, unless Harry Kane and his party, if you like, had given strong indication that he'd be open to the move. So you have to say, as we sit here now on Thursday morning, nightmare for Ange Postecoglou, by the way, with that game against Brentford on the horizon at the weekend, you would have to say you expect Kane to go.
Yeah. Okay. One wonders what the scene is now at the Allianz Arena as Bayern Munich fans are listening to this morning. Let's head to Germany and get the reaction from over there. And this fella has joined us on a regular basis throughout this story, and at one stage was saying, I think 60-40, it would be that the odds that Kane would go to Bayern Munich. Well, it's now looking more and more likely that he will. If, of course, he says yes. Top journalist Konstantin Eckner joins us live in the show. Konstantin, good morning to you. What's the mood in Munich? They must feel they've got the man.
Good morning. Basically, they think now that their plan has worked out. I mean, apart from maybe some bits being rejected by Spurs and some criticism coming from England, I think Bayern are feeling like justified in what they have done in the past couple of weeks in their pursuit of Kane. And the Bundesliga will start next week, on Friday next week, so they have still enough time to bring Kane over to Munich, because what they have been saying for a while is that they are confident that Kane actually wants to go to Bayern, and that's up to the two clubs reaching an agreement, which they now have done.
It's an incredible situation, isn't it? And how key is the timing? Because we've been told by the Harry Kane camp that if he played against Brentford this weekend, then he would indeed see out at least the first half of the season at Spurs. He wouldn't leave before the end of the transfer window. Is that why Bayern have had to get their act in gear now to get this deal done before the weekend?
Yeah, and even last week when they submitted that third bid, and there wasn't really a deadline attached to it, but there was kind of the thinking, all right, Spurs, please make a decision. That was coming from Bayern. So Bayern were trying to hurry up the whole process and speed up the process. So because they knew once the Premier League starts and there's no agreement whatsoever, then it might be too late. Then Kane might want to stay at Spurs. And also Bayern are then basically without a striker going into their season, and especially going into the Champions League campaign, because Harry Kane is first and foremost signed to be the vocal point of this team when they play Champions League knockout stage games.
No, the thing we should stress, and I think that the tail end of a tweet that I'm seeing from David Ornstein, hugely respected journalist over this side, over here in the UK, as you know, Konstantin, is David's last line in his tweet. Having broken the news, as Alex was following up there, 100 million accepted by Tottenham. Sure, that's one thing, but Kane has been leaning towards staying and now must make a decision. So there's a collective holding of breath amongst Munich fans, surely.
Yeah, there's still, and I mean, Bayern have been saying that they are confident and they believe that Kane wants to join them. That's what Bayern are saying. And I mean, you never know how much of that is basically public speech and how much of that is basically PR in a sense, right? And also overall strategy to get the deal done, and how much of that is actually truth. And so, yeah, still, Bayern fans in recent days have actually been kind of resigned from the whole thing. They were kind of disappointed and thought, all right, that deal won't get done, and we will be without a top-class striker for the second season in a row. So fans are getting excited, Bayern fans at least, but maybe not overly excited until the deal is finalized. Actually, Harry Kane is holding up a red and white shirt somewhere in the Allianz Arena.
Can I just confirm the fee, Constantine? Because my maths conversion wasn't great there. So it was €100 million, which actually works out about £86.4 million. Are there any add-ons, do you know, on top of that?
Yeah, there are add-ons on top of that, because the last bid was basically £73 million plus 13, so adds up to £86 million in total. But they have submitted another bid, and now it's essentially a little bit less than €100 million as the fixed fee plus add-ons. But how much that is not that important, because what a point of contention was between the two clubs, as far as I know, is basically how much is Bayern paying up front? How much are they paying right now as a fixed fee? Because Spurs, they want, and they have to make additional signings, especially now, and they already have made signings, so they need money right now to make these signings. So there was a point of contention between the two clubs, because Bayern wanted to pay not as much up front and stick some add-ons to it. But of course, these add-ons, they will only materialize after a while, right? Maybe after a year or after 2 years. And that's maybe too late for Spurs' liking.
Yeah, if you've just joined us on talkSPORT this morning, Alex Crook is with me. We're in conversation with top German journalist Konstantin Eckner, and you might wonder why. This is why, because we now hear that Bayern Munich have reached an agreement with Tottenham to sign Harry Kane. Sources in Germany are telling us this morning €100 million accepted by Tottenham. But now, of course, Kane's got a decision to make. Here's the thing, Konstantin. You have to think that Thomas Tuchel, not long in the door at Bayern Munich, has been pushing and pushing for this because he knows Kane so well.
Yes, of course. I mean, Thomas Tuchel is behind most of these pursuits by Bayern right now, because as you probably have discussed on the show recently, they wanted Kyle Walker. They have been interested in David Raya, the goalkeeper. Now they are interested in Kepa from Chelsea. And of course, most importantly, they have been interested for a while in Harry Kane. Bayern were already interested in Harry Kane last year, but Thomas Tuchel is pushing for these signings from the Premier League, because he essentially has come to like these Premier League players during his time at Chelsea. He knows them, and he thinks they offer a kind of level of performance that you can't find anywhere else, essentially. So yeah, Thomas Tuchel is driving most of these transfers right now. Since his time at Chelsea, he's just fallen in love with a lot of Premier League players.
What about the Bayern Munich fans? How have they reacted to the possibility of signing the England captain, someone who was on course to become the Premier League's record all-time goalscorer? I
figure a lot of people think that he is the best option available, essentially, because other top-level strikers that might be on the market, like Victor Osimhen from Napoli, he would be too expensive, essentially, for what he offers. Some Bayern fans were a bit concerned about Bayern submitting one bid after another, and the price goes up and up and up. and some were concerned that where will this actually end if there is an agreement? How much do Bayern actually have to pay eventually? So because they don't want to, I don't know, Bayern go out and pay 150 million or something, because at some point it might become a little bit ridiculous. But a lot of fans are in favor of that signing, because they have witnessed one season post Robert Lewandowski, one season without a top-level striker, and see what happened. They got knocked out from the Champions League quarterfinals, and Dortmund were within inches winning the championship after 11 years again, and dethroning Bayern. So a lot of Bayern fans are concerned. They want to distance Dortmund.
Konstantin Eckner, thank you so much as always for your time. This fella's got Liverpool very much in his blood, but he's a former Tottenham midfielder, and of course he's a big part of what we do here at talkSPORT, and he's Danny Murphy. Danny, good morning to you. Now we know in the last few moments the news is broken that Tottenham and Bayern have agreed a fee of €100 million for Kane, and now the ball is in Harry's court. What do you make of this, Danny?
Well, it's been on the cards for a while, hasn't it, chaps? I think it's a great move for him, if I'm honest, and I can't see it not happening. I think the amount of effort Bayern have gone to get the deal over the line, there would no way they would be doing that if they hadn't had the go-ahead from Kane that he's keen to do it, and the finances would have already been discussed. I'm more than certain about that. That's the way football is, Jim, and it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for him. He's going to have 4-year contract, maybe 5. That's 4 opportunities of winning the Champions League. The opportunities he's got on the table, this is the best club, best move for him. He's not going to win the Champions League at Spurs. He's not going to win the Premier League at Spurs. The only thing he's giving up is the goal scoring record. But in terms of his career, when he looks back in 10 years, he could well be looking at not just Bundesliga titles, which seem pretty nailed on, but you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 Champions League titles along the way. And the only other 2 teams really you could say at the moment who would be competitive with them for the Champions League is Man City and Real Madrid.
We understand it's going to be a 5-year contract, Danny, so long-term security for Kane as well. From a Tottenham perspective, what will Ange Postecoglou be thinking now? Will he have seen this coming? Will they have a plan in place of how they can possibly replace Harry Kane?
I think they'll have a plan, mate. Yeah, I think he would have had an honest conversation with Kane or his representatives and Daniel Levy about the possibility if Bayern do reach a certain level, will they, what they're going to do. I'd be amazed if they hadn't done that. That would be really bad planning. And I think in some ways it takes the pressure off him, because if they don't hit the ground running, Spurs, and if they don't have a great start, people will just allude to the fact, well, they've lost the best striker, they've lost Kane. He's going to have to give him some time to work his magic on this new squad, bring somebody in. I think it kind of takes the pressure off him and gives him even more of a free hit than he had previously. So I don't worry for Tottenham and the manager moving forward. He was going to have to make a plan next summer without him probably anyway. It's just brought forward that decision. Do you bring someone in? Do you give Richarlison a run at it? Do you play Son central, or do you go out and find someone? And, Postecoglou, to be fair to him, he knows the world market, doesn't he? He's good at finding gems. He's good at finding diamonds in the rough. So
yes, true.
I think in some ways it's taken the pressure off Ange a little bit, and Tottenham fans are not going to turn on him if they don't start the season brilliantly after this news, are they?
Absolutely. Danny, thank you so much. Danny Murphy was with me yesterday and now joining us this morning, reacting to the news. Alex brought it to us at 10:30. David Ornstein, top journalist, has been all over this. Bayern Munich have reached an agreement with Tottenham to sign Harry Kane. This is according to sources in Germany. 100 million euros accepted by Tottenham. Now the ball is in Harry's court. Tottenham fans, are you now resigned more than ever to the notion that Kane is going and he's going to swap Tottenham for Bayern Munich?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.